Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Rivalry week. Here on Den Media Group. A lot of anticipation. A lot of crazy weekend across the board in football, man. Fun weekend though. Fun if you like the game. If you love the game. Not so much fun if you only love certain teams. But went 3-2 this weekend. A little rough, but still all good though. That's why we play the game. You gotta love it. You gotta love how I go. But if you don't know, I'm at Big Game James _36, and this is Big Games B.S, part of Den Media Group, presented by the greatest tailgate on earth. Rain, no matter rain, no sleep, no dark of night will stop us will stop the Dope Boys from previewing and enjoying the fight. So we got it going. You can go to check out my pin tweet. It's up there. We'll get into a little bit more of the tailgate talk. We got about close to 60 people signed up so far. Want to get to over 100. If you're a Hurricane, if you're a Knoll, if you're just a hater, does not matter. Please come gather around. Let's fellowship before the game at 7:30. The lots open around noon. I'm probably not going to get there until about 3:30, 4 o'clock. I have some things that I have to continue to sort out and figure out. Mainly it's my sons. I want to watch my sons play football as much as I can. And it's only 2.5 hour drive, so we'll be able to get that. Cheese will be there, Peachy Bros. Trying to get all this stuff finalized this week to have all of those different things. Oh man, today is National Coffee Day. Congratulations. Let's celebrate to all my coffee drinkers. So that is a big deal. What else do I normally say? I'll start the show. I'm tired, man. Well, just not much to really go about with the kickoff. I know we're going to do our MFTK segments. We're going to catch up with a lot of football, a lot of exciting stuff if you're a local or people who really like the show. With that being said, let's get our show started the same way we start every show off with the word of prayer.
You already know what time it is, dog. Thank you, God, for another day. Thank you, God, for another day. Thank you, God. God is great. All the time. All the time. Nobody wanna thank you, God. Thank you, God. Go.
All right. What's up, Jaden? How you doing?
Doing good. Thank you. Today is Monday, September 29th, here at Big Games BS. This is your first time here at the show. Welcome. And it's called Big Games BS because we bring the good, the bad, and the BS of the sports world, especially football, to your eyes, ears, and to your screens, most of all. Make sure to support us on the YouTube. And today we got a good show for you guys, starting with our MFTK segment. We have a score update to talk about regarding Mandarin University and a Florida high school football record that's been broken by a Jacksonville player. Then we're going to transition to some college football talk. Yes, for my Seminoles fans, we're going to discuss the loss to Virginia, talk about the AP Top 25 and what this means for the upcoming week or weeks, and then touch up on some more college topics before we get into the NFL. We're going to recap this week's score of games, starting with the Jaguars win against the San Francisco 49ers. Going to talk about some quarterbacks, going to talk about some teams, and some other players, as well as Sunday Night Football and the announcement of the Super Bowl LX performer. We're going to be at our Big Games BS section after that, starting with our BS or bussin' topic, which is a food topic that James rates. And we also have a football caveat to that as well. And then we have to talk about the FAMU band announcer. So before we get to that part of the show, let's start off with MFTK. Talk about Mandarin versus First Coast. This resulted in a 34-13 W for the Mustangs. James, walk us through this game right here as you battled another First Coast team at their stadium, at their high school. Talk about this win for the
If you want to go to strikeout photography, shout out to Paul. Does a great job. He actually has videos on the page on his page. We came out, we scored on four of the first five drives. We started out, we only had 8, I believe, in total. So obviously we had 34-13. The last touchdown was that they scored was kind of crap. So my running back's fault, man. My running back's been wilding, dog. My boy's hand was messed up, and the ball hits him like I knocks through it 100 miles per hour. It hit him right in his chest. If it was a spear, it would have killed him. Bounced right into the loving arms of a First Coast defender. So Bryson was having some cramping issues, but he played both ways. He's still, man, the kid might be a better safety than he is a wide receiver. And that's me being honest. Tion Weiss, though, a young man that's really, really good. His brother was number 20. That right there, they showed that right there, boy. That's let's blow that one up. That deserves. I believe that was his last touchdown. He had a hat trick on him. 4 catches, 3 touchdowns, 117 yards. This is what I told his mom. This is what you want to show. Boom, right there, catch, make a miss, and get in for 6. I apologize. We had some server issues, so we weren't able to stream it live. It is up if you want to watch it on Den Media Group. We'll hopefully have that fixed. We'll have that fixed for this week coming up. But it was Quez scored. Running backs did okay. We didn't have anybody get over 100 yards, but we had 175 yards of offense. I mean, of rushing yards. It was, again, overall good game. Knox, again, people in this city still try to underplay this young man. This young man went 8 for 11, 230 some yards, and extended the pocket, launches the ball deep. We don't throw it a ton. We are a true heavy RPO team. A lot of things we can still fix in that, but good win. We have Rockledge this week. It should be another victory. And then we play Fletcher, who's dropped the last 2 games, but still a really, really good team. We play them at home. Want to make sure that will be our homecoming. It's not because Fletcher is bad. It's our homecoming because we only got 2 more home games and we've been on the road. So like, you don't want to have your homecoming in like early September. So it still should be a good game. Fletcher's got some good talent, but First Coast is people hate when I say stuff like they are improved. They've won. That was only their second loss. We had the same record going in. First Coast was able to put those points on us. They have some good talented players. They have a left tackle, number 71, who is extremely good. Really good feet. He's a junior. Number 7 for their team. He just could not get off. I'm trying to think who else they had. Their quarterback is a sophomore. Very fast, extremely athletic. Defense, they got this big old white boy, number 9, that if he was on a different team, not saying that he shouldn't be a First Coast, just saying if he was on a team with a little bit more talent surrounding him, he would show out a little bit more. But again, I like what First Coast has going on over there. Unfortunately, very few teams locally in this area are as good as we are.
Next, we have a Florida record being broken by somebody who goes to school in Jacksonville. So let's get into the story. So Bulls sophomore running back Xander Edwards has broken former Yulee star Derrick Henry's record for the most rushing touchdowns in a single game in FHSAA history. So Xander Edwards found the end zone 8 times for the Bulldogs win in their 73-48 victory over Baldwin. Man, 8 touchdowns in a single game. I didn't think the 7 would be broken, but 8 is, man, that's a lot of times touching the paint, man. Shout out to Xander Edwards. And James, when did you hear about Xander breaking the record, since I know you guys played on Friday as well?
While we were playing.
Hmm.
Xander Xander's just as good of a lacrosse player as he is a football player. I coach lacrosse at this school, Bowls. So Xander is part of this this amazing trio of freshmen that are in the Jacksonville area. B5 being the one that headlines it, but there's a man Asher that's at Bowls as well. TJ Williamson is at Bowls. There's some wide receivers. Man, like Bowles is incredibly talented, and Bowen, like the you know the craziest part about all of this stuff. Baldwin put up 43 points like on Bowles. Like Bowles has a really good defense, and I'm shocked at that they weren't able to stop Baldwin's offense. But normally they're playing games that will be. I want to know what this. I want to actually know what the box score is. Like, I'm glad I had to. I gotta talk normal. Like I gotta make sure I walk, because you're talking about a young man here. But to run for 800 yards that's a season's worth of touchdowns right there. Like 500 yards, that's half of a season's. Like he's already on track to. He's already got a seat. Like he is the best. He's the best running back, stats wise, in the city. And actually, you know what? No, James. This. I don't want to leave any room for hateration or holleration. You want to know how many yards he has on the season right now, Jaden? After that game, 1,309. Bump it. Nope, we're gonna round it up, people. He has 1,400 yards rushing already. That ranks him as 8th nationally. He has 20 total touchdowns. That's 23rd nationally. For perspective, my young man that I had a few years ago that got Time Junior Player of the Year had 23 touchdowns. Now, we had a much more balanced team, but still. And it's not like his worst game was 100 yards. Now, it was it's still, I like what I tell people is the average, what I like my running backs to average is 10 yards a carry, right? That's a D1 running back. He had 12 carries for 157 yards against Monarch the beginning of the season. That's 13.1. They played Trinity Christian. He had 22 carries for 100 yards. St. Augustine High School in a shootout that they lost, 22 carries for 248 yards. Bishop Kenny, blowout, 19 carries, 184 yards. Oakleaf, blowout, 26 carries, 184 yards, dropped to 7.1 yards a carry. Baldwin, the score was 73-49, 39 carries, 522 yards, 13.4 yards per carry average. 77 yards was his longest run. So he's not just tiptoeing, like he's getting long ass runs. Like he's an amazing young man. Actually a low penalized game. Referees just let him do their thing. Jaden Weatherly, who's a pretty good, threw an interception. Tolan got in. Weatherly contributed 36 yards rushing as well. Damn, what's crazy in that stat? You know what gets lost? That Bowles has a Clemson committed, Naeem Burrows, one of the best wide receivers in the nation. He had 4 catches, 111 yards. Like, oh, Bearcat playing for them too? I thought Bearcat was gone. All right, well, cool. It's when you look at this stuff, man, it's just you're like, damn. But what did Baldwin do? Okay, so the coaches Screws was their quarterback was 19 for. Lost in this is the quarterback was 19 for 33, 445 yards passing, 5 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. That's and then Ball was running back, had 16 carries for 108 yards. They had a wide receiver go 6 catches for 178 yards. I'm trying to look at him. Okay. We're gonna boom, boom, boom. That kid right there might have just got a MFTK Spartans tryout invite. Anybody know this young man at Baldwin? Anybody know this kid? I want him on the 7-on-7. So we got to make sure we y'all go ahead and reach out for that. But Baldwin much improved. Bowles is a good team. And it's a lot of people in this city. A lot of people in the area are coming at this young man improperly. And I text Xander. I want to get Xander on the show. We may have a double MFTK segment on Friday, especially once I figure out our travel schedule. Because I don't know what time we're leaving to go to Rockledge. We play on the road at Rockledge on Friday. But I want Xander on. I want to talk to him about this incredible thing. I love a good white running back. Love him. He's not just what Xander does is he runs. They're incredible. They're an incredible species. See, my black running backs, they hit the hole. They do all the cool stuff. My white, especially the bigger white running backs. Like one that, if anybody knows, there's 2 running backs I always talk about. It's Cole Mazza and it's Tion Weiss. Cole Mazza was my first great running back. Big old white boy. Love Cole. Love the Mazza family. Cole ran a 4.65, maybe a 4.7. You know what Cole did every play? He ran a 4.65 or a 4.7. And he was at 220 pounds. You know what you didn't want to do? You didn't want to hit that motherfucker too long. Cole was in that thing serving out heavy doses of melatonin. And it was incredible. And I love it. Xander's a good kid. You got people saying, oh, man, it's just blah, 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 or rah, 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 and oh, it's just Baldwin. Man, it doesn't matter. I try to tell people it does not matter. Like, was it 500 yards is 500, was it 3? It's 3. So basically, it's 3 feet. 3. I don't even want to go with the feet. He ran almost half a mile. I want you guys with pads on, with other people hitting him. Half a fucking mile. And there's people saying, oh, and he did it with Derek, like he did the same shit that Derek did. Same level, actually, if I remember correctly. Derek didn't play big boy high school football, but Derek was that dude. And as a guy who had the pleasure of coaching both of them in some capacity, I think it's dope. I want more kids breaking records in this area. And oh man, that the kid did amazing, man. Shout out to him. I'm gonna try to get him. I think we got TJ Cole for Reigns, starting quarterback at Reigns. He's gonna be coming on Friday as well. If we can get both of them, that'd be dope. Matter of fact, Xander's so good. Xander earned a spot on MFTK. Like, we can't do shit with you in the passing game, but like, cause I don't know if that's what you do, but like, cause ain't nobody. I mean, right? You ain't. But you can roll with us. I will help represent you, man. Like, this is great specimen.
We're going to talk about FSU, but before we get into the football talk, make sure to tune in and buy the tailgate tickets for the Miami game that's coming up this Saturday. So if we go to the Twitter account right here on the screen, click that pinned tweet, click that link in that tweet. Gonna go and reach this website right here. Make sure you guys buy the tickets for the tailgate. It's at Lot 19, Spirit Way Garage near Doak Campbell Stadium. Spirit Way Garage right next to the women's soccer field, next to the softball and soccer field right here. So make sure to buy your tickets right now. Currently going for $65 or $65 plus a small booking fee. So, yep, make sure to get your tickets before they increase in price. And, yeah, this is for this Saturday, the Dope Boys reunion, Miami tailgate starting from 12:15 to 10:30. James, so that's the correct time frame from the tailgate, 12:15 to 10:30?
Probably later, because the game is not till 7:30. So we'll have TVs at the tailgate. We're gonna go heavy push here. We got TVs at the tailgate. We will have like the lots open at 12. All I can tell you is the food ain't gonna probably be there till like 3:30, 4 o'clock. Liquor will be there, so beer will be there. Shout out to Lisa providing some stuff. Apparently, Cutwater is something that it activates this thing in the female species that just makes them more fun. I don't know what Cutwater is, but I don't know, but apparently we'll have some Cutwater. So if you're a guy, hey, kudos to you. Bring your old lady, let her have some good food, and you're obligated to feed her. You may win regardless of how the game goes. So that's kind of what we want. I want everybody to win, and yeah.
FSU did not get the chance to win against Virginia. Talk about this game, go over the game, the pros, the cons, do's and don'ts, but James called it. Virginia game is where things get fishy, and things got fishy. FSU did lose 38 to 46 to Virginia at Virginia in double overtime on a Friday night game. So let's get into this game. We're going to break down the box score, the play-by-play, and get into some statistics as well. So I'm going to share this screen with you guys, courtesy of ESPN, so we can break down that box score first and foremost. Starting with FSU, you had TC going 18 of 32, 254 passing yards, and he had one touchdown and two interceptions. You had Randy Pittman, who had a throwing touchdown for 4 yards, and we have a special fact about Randy Pittman right here. So Randy Pittman is the third player in FSU history with a rushing, receiving, and passing touchdown in the same game. He joins Jordan Travis, 2022 at Syracuse, and Red Parrish, 1949 versus Millsaps College. So congrats to Randy on earning that personal accomplishment right there. Moving on with the Florida State rushing, you had TC, who was second in carries, first in rushing yards for the team. He had 14 carries, one touchdown, average of 5.6 yards per carry. Gavin Sawchuk, 17 carries, 74 yards, and he had a touchdown on the ground as well. Randy Pittman had a rushing touchdown as well. Deuce Robinson continues to show why he's a deep ball threat. 9 receptions, 147 yards, one touchdown, average of 16.3 yards per reception, and a long of 47. Randy Pittman also got a receiving touchdown as well. So Florida State also lost a fumble to Gavin Sawchuk as well, and Earl Little was our total tackler with led our team in tackles with 13 total tackles as well. Chandler Morris, 26 of 35, 225 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. Jamari Taylor had a rushing touchdown as well. And then Xavier Brown and Sage Ennis, had reception touchdowns
Sage
as
Tallahassee's on.
well. Jason Prevard had 2 interceptions. Edmund Joseph had an interception. Elijah Herring had an interception. And Jabril Rawls had an interception. Let's get into these team stats right here. So FSU had 3 less first downs than Virginia. Virginia went 2 of 2 on 4th down compared to FSU going 3 out of 5. FSU went 6 for 15 on 3rd down, while Virginia went 7 of 13. FSU had more total yards than the Cavaliers. They actually had 74 more total yards. They had more passing yards as well. They averaged 7.8 yards per pass, and rushing FSU led as well. But with the penalties, FSU had more penalties, 1 more penalty for 24 more yards lost, and FSU had a fumble loss, 2 interceptions thrown, while Virginia had 3 interceptions thrown, and Virginia had 3 more minutes of time of possession. I know everybody was talking about the Deuce Robinson catch in second overtime. If it was a catch, the referees and the program ultimately ruled that Deuce Robinson did not have full control of the ball, resulting in a 4th down stop by Virginia to seal the game. So, James, from your opinion, what were the pros and cons of this game by FSU? And I want to hear your opinion on that Deuce Robinson catch after you give your breakdown of the FSU versus Virginia loss.
Well, I didn't watch all of it. I was coaching. I was following it, but very good game. Virginia has every reason to brag and be proud. They sometimes when you're in a shootout, previously you have confidence in there and you know what you did wrong, and they were in a shootout with North Carolina State, shootout with Florida State. Chandler Morris, I guess from a grade perspective, before Friday night, was graded out as the best transfer quarter, the highest quarterback rated transfer portal quarterback in the nation. Is very, very good at extending plays. Did a very, very good job. What was his stats? Because it felt like he was running all over our asses too. I know what his passing stats were pretty good, but what was his rushing?
He didn't have that much rush yards, but he had 3 rushing touchdowns.
That was okay. That's what
Yeah.
like that's dangerous. I mean, it was actually really good. 8 for 37. I mean, it's probably he got sacked a couple times.
He got sacked twice.
So probably some of that probably rushed for more. The sack yardage goes away for the rushing total in college. Powerful runner. And the sky isn't falling. Here's the problem with one of the problems with the 3-3-5 is that your D tackles can't just get penetration because they'll go up. You leave your linebackers exposed. Run fits means so much more in this, and we got caught. We got caught trying to stop the big plays from happening, and didn't realize that Chandler Morris would probably carve us up, and then a team would be content taking what they have. So, and Tony Elliott is a really good coach. Tony Elliott had Tony White in a blender. One of the things that have happened the last 3 weeks is we'll have success, and we don't ever have an opportunity as Florida State fans to just sit there and enjoy the current success that you've had. Florida State was 2-10 last year. Games like this weren't even competitive. They were blowouts by teams that were less than us. The linebacker play was not fitting. And I don't think they quit. I just think our defense failed us. But a lot of you guys, in the midst of having success, in the midst of people writing great articles about Tony White and not just keeping it on that, we have to always look in the past like a fucking scorned lover. All I'm seeing is, oh, thank God. If we had the other coach, we would be so much worse. Like, nah, we would have got our ass, like, look like we would have got our ass whooped the exact same way. Like, stop worrying about the guys from last year. Worry about this year. This year, Daryl Jackson is getting blocked by a lot of people. We got linebackers running in other gaps that they're not. I don't know if they're supposed to run in them, but I definitely know the running back wasn't going there. So, made wrong reads. And if you make less wrong reads in this game, you're doing good. But I'm also going to stall them out. If you don't start off the game with the fumble inside your own 25, I do know that happened. I do know you were driving down the field and you were about to score, and we got cute, and we threw an interception. And then that offense drove down the field and scored again, so you're down 14. You spotted them 14 points. If an offense has over 500 yards, there's no way they should lose that game. The only way you lose that game is if a quarterback, what was it? What did he have? Morris had 4 touchdowns, 4 total touchdowns? Excuse me, 5 total touchdowns. 3 rushing, 2 throwing. And big-time players make big-time plays in big-time games. Before we get into the one about Deuce, let's get into the one that, I mean, I actually have the video of it too. It's so, it was a good play call. We just underthrew, I believe it's a saw chuck. You like the screen. There was nobody there. Yeah. He would have walked in. It's things like that that really mess you up. And we'll see. So hey, like, I know this, if that defense gives that effort that they gave against Virginia, it's gonna be a sad, long night. But you'll still be in a better situation than you were the previous year. I said everything about this team will be determined about how they do Friday night. And Friday night proved that they're not really ready. They're not ready for prime time. And coming from a 2-10 season with a lot of flaws and a lot of things, yeah, it's okay to say that. They're still not a bad team. They're just not a championship team based upon the product that they've put out over these 5 weeks, excuse me. All in all, the funny thing is that, and I don't think Thomas is better than Carson. I'm going to go on record and say that. But if you look at the comparisons, Thomas has thrown for more passing yards than Carson. He has thrown, they have the exact same amount of interceptions and the exact same amount of total touchdowns. And I'd argue that they probably both played about a similar amount of competition. Notre Dame is better than what they showed for the first 2 weeks, but they lost to 2 good opponents. And clearly Alabama is better. If the Florida State team that was motivated and played against Alabama shows up, they could beat anybody in the nation. Good teams don't yo-yo. They're steady. They never get too high. They never get too low. Yes, Montre, my bad. The game, saying not ready for prime time is a saying. Like, they are playing prime time. But I'm just saying, like, that loss to Virginia on a Friday night. But I also chalk it up as on the road, Virginia had a lot going on, and they used that momentum. That could be a distraction to a lot of people. It was not a distraction for them. Kudos to Tony Elliott for having his team prepared and those guys fighting, even losing somebody. The young man, Don Binker, I forgot what his brother's name is, but the DB that got ejected from the game for targeting. And I've seen some people talk about Deuce Robinson. Like, I didn't realize Deuce's game was that good outside of that last play. Should have never came down to that. But I don't, personally, when they were going to review it, I already knew. I knew. Yeah. Once they reviewed it, I already knew. Like, I'm like, it's too much. The ball has to be stable. Yeah, like when he just called it, like bro, like like they are really going. They were reviewing, like they put that thing down to point, like slow mo point, like I don't even know. Like
they were showing off the equipment at some
yeah,
point.
like I'm like, bro, like if you got to slow it down that much, I don't think like okay, like the ball has a heartbeat at this point, man. Like it's nothing we can do about that. So, but you know, you catch it and you don't have to be in it. You don't have to worry about that.
Have one,
Cheeseburger, put up a brick. That's a good point. Put that up on the jumbotron. And that's not well. I would say I'd argue one side of the ball. I believe you did see a lot of. You saw moments for offense. He says I may be wrong, of course, but I feel a lot of 2024 FSU watching that Virginia game. 2024 FSU would have gotten beat without scoring points. That's the only difference I'll say. And they would have never had a chance in that game if they started out the way they did. FSU had plenty of chances, numerous chances. They just did not play very well. Now, here's the crazy part. If Miami, I think Miami's offense isn't score 50 on you. I think they're do what they need to do, get up, and then they're gonna. And now if they can score, they will. But they're gonna play conservative. That's what their OC has done time and time again, and that's why we don't know who really know their wide receiver. I know Malley's good, number 10, but not necessarily because of the passing stuff. That boy is a dog. He blocks. He does a lot of different things. But Cristobal won't run it up until he knows it's over. And then that's like always like the last, like you gotta watch it. Like they talk about the middle 8 with Clemson, like the last 4 minutes of the first half, the first 4 minutes to steal points. Cristobal is the back, we call back 9. He's like a golfer. Cristobal is a back 9 guy. Oh, I got it secured. Now he's finna run that bitch up. So they damn sure tried against Notre Dame. And he tried against Florida, but Florida would not be outdone by Billy Napier.
The running back I can't pronounce. Is he not better than Sawchuk, or am I?
I think Sawchuk is really good, but Cromwell is just you don't like. It's hard to put freshmen in those type of situations until they've earned it. So, but Randy Pittman played a good game. Again, I said Mike Norvell's offense is different with the fullback, and that's basically what Randy Pittman is. Just a way more athletic version of it. He more like Juice, Usek from San Francisco. Maybe not as tall, but a guy like that. So you just gotta defense just gotta wrap up, man. And it's a mentality and a technique thing. But we shall see. Right now, you are what you put out there. And I think they're good in flashes. They just they have to get more out of their linebackers. That would be what I would suggest.
So, James, we got a graphic for everything. So let's take a look at the passing breakdown by Virginia to the FSU defense. And you're going to notice a pretty riveting trend in this. So let's just take a look at that circle. So this is between the numbers, and this is between the first and second level of the field. So in that first level, from 0 to 10 yards, Virginia went 11 for 12, 112 yards and 1 touchdown. And then in the second level of the field, they went 2 for 3, throwing for 42 yards as well. Man, those under routes killed us between the numbers. You can see from this graph right here, they went 13 of 15 for 154 yards and a touchdown. So, man, between the numbers is definitely where we lacked the most. Couldn't wrap up, couldn't stop the unders, and ultimately couldn't stop Virginia from getting that W. But take a look at all the other areas of the field, especially the far left and far right, the outside left, the outside right. We had 0 touchdowns and 3 interceptions when they tried to go for a 20-plus yard throw in the corners. So we had that locked down pretty well. But, man, just take a look from the corners to that middle of the field. Just want to read the stats again. 13 of 15 for 154 yards and a touchdown in this specific area. So,
and that's just the tough part about that is if you're not getting pressure on the quarterback and you're not getting him out of that's where the weaknesses in the zone are. Actually, weaknesses with a lot of people in Miami. So Miami's tight ends will probably eat. The one pat, didn't they score it? So I guess the wheel route he hit at 15. Because they got it, they leaked it out of the backfield. It's very mad about that. They just gotta get it figured out. Like again, if Tony White, hey, don't smell the perfume, don't drink it. Everybody was high on Tony White. They still should be high on Tony White. Coached a bad game. They played a bad game. They'll get it fixed. It doesn't have to be like the two strongest muscles in America right now. This is probably why we're rampant with diabetes and overweight. Are the thumbs and the jaw. And you can tell the fists, there haven't been enough fists that hit this bad boy. Like, just tweak it and get better. Miami won't follow Virginia's game plan. That's not them. That's not them. Miami will have their own game plan. And it will be effective if those guys don't get the shit worked out.
Now that leaves us to discuss this week's AP poll with you guys. So we're going to blow this up for you, and let's talk about the teams in their new positions. Ohio State still at number 1. Shouldn't be surprising. Oregon bumped up 4 spots from 6 to 2 with their W against Penn State. Miami dropped 1 from 2 to 3. Ole Miss jumped up 9 spots since they defeated LSU. Oklahoma jumped up 2 spots. Texas A&M jumped up 3 spots. Like I said, Penn State dropped because they lost to Oregon, dropped 4 spots. Indiana's up 3 spots. Texas up 1 spot. And Bama cracked the top 10. They jumped 7 spots. Georgia dropped 7 spots with their loss to Bama. And LSU dropped 9 spots with their loss to Ole Miss. So, LSU dropped 9 spots as they lost to Ole Miss. And then let's get all the way down to Florida State. FSU is now ranked number 18 since they dropped 10 spots to the loss against Virginia. And Virginia is actually now in the top 25. They have been bestowed the number 24 spot. BYU jumped 2 spots from 25 to 23 with their win over Colorado. Notre Dame jumped a spot. Michigan dropped a spot. And Missouri jumped a spot as well. Kenny Dillingham's Arizona State is now ranked 25 as well. So just wanted to update you guys on that list. And James, Penn State and Texas still haven't defeated a P4 opponent this year, and they still are in the top 10 of this AP top 25 poll. So I know that's caused a lot of controversy and discourse in the college football world. But man, James, I got to ask you, are you still sold on Texas being in that 9 spot in that top 10 in the top 25?
Yeah, no, not top 10. Ironically, I saw Sark's father-in-law this weekend. And his brother-in-law. But I think Texas will handle Florida, so that'll keep them there. It's a bias. The problem is, I honestly think Georgia is still a top 10 team. They maybe put Alabama, bump them up over Indiana, push Texas to 11, move Georgia up. The problem is the guys behind them. Georgia Tech, I think, right now is playing better than a lot of people. They won the game that they were supposed to blow out, and it was closer than what they wanted. But good teams find a way to win, and bad teams find a way to lose. And Georgia Tech right now is streaming like a good team. Vanderbilt, but the Vanderbilt win that Alabama is going to have will propel them up to I believe after this weekend they'll be a top 3 team because they're everybody loves the Alabama brand. Oregon should be number 1, but then again, Ohio State is the only team that has beat a top 10 opponent currently, and when they played. Texas A&M does not strike me as a top 10 team either. Oklahoma will know more this week because they'll be without their quarter. They didn't play this week, right?
I don't think they did.
Yeah, because I know their quarterback is out. So we have a lot to be seen and desired with that.
Yep, because the next game Oklahoma will play will be against the Texas Longhorns. So that should be a good game for you. It looks like they had 2 bye weeks back to back because their last game was against Auburn on September 20th, and it looks like their next game is going to be Saturday, October 11th at Texas. So, man, they got something going for them. And yeah, just wanted to hear your thoughts on that before getting into some more college football talk because, James, this weekend we have FSU versus Miami, but it looks like College Game Day is not going to be in Tallahassee. They are going to, like you previously mentioned, they love that Bama brand, to Alabama because College Game Day wants to cover Vanderbilt versus Alabama. And College Football Kings asked the correct question: should they have chosen Miami FSU?
It's weird because they chose Miami, Florida, which was a worse game, and there were better games they could have picked that weekend. And then they chose this, and there's better games that they could pick this weekend. But Alabama is the darlings until they're not. You've got Pavia that is talking shit, and he's earned it. Vanderbilt is, playing the best football that they've played probably in program history up to this point. Don't bash me. I'm not very well versed on Vanderbilt football history, but they did beat Alabama. They beat Alabama pretty convincingly, or if I remember. Actually, a win for Vanderbilt over Alabama is automatically convincingly. It doesn't matter. Yeah. Alabama get back game. Alabama stumbled to Florida State, and now they've been seemingly have corrected that trajectory and are on the right path. Is Vanderbilt for real, and is Alabama back? Like, there's a lot of they want to make right now is the opportunity to make Vanderbilt into some kind of lovable loser program, and ESPN is going to put all their media might behind that. FSU Miami is one of the best rivalries in college football. Has been for my entire life before I was born. Ever since the 80s, it's been one of the better rivalries. It's going to make money regardless. And we also know that Kirk really don't want to come to Tallahassee, dog. We'll have the ACC version of it. And what Florida State fans and Miami fans should do, if you really want people to know how great this rivalry is, if you really want people to pay attention and buy into you, and this would be a theme probably of this show. I went home to my church and I noticed that there's still a lot of the same thought process. And I listened to something of a guy who I like. I don't follow, but I like, Charleston White. He's a very interesting guy. At some point, we know what it is, and we have said fuck ESCCPN. But yet, please come pick us. Show us love, please, ESCCPN. We know you don't like us. And fuck them people. Create the college environment that we know it's to be there. Like, I'm over here telling people, oh, the tickets are so high. Well, come to tailgate. The ticket's gonna sell out regardless, though. That stadium's gonna be sold out. With or with you buying on the secondary market. I told y'all dumbasses the secret. One, listen to the show on Wednesday. You may win a pair of tickets. Two, the secret is buy season tickets. It's $350. Dead fuck serious. $350 for every FSU home game. $350 American USD. And you can get, that's what I pay per ticket. $700, you can get 2 tickets. That's the price of one Miami FSU ticket now. You would have got that, Alabama, Virginia Tech, Pitt, the 2 bum games, and and Wake Forest for homecoming. You weren't getting there at 8 a.m., dog. I'm not getting there at 8 a.m. Go out there, have a good time, celebrate, go to the tailgates, TVs are there, and just, hey, make it so raucous that everybody has to start saying, damn. Create what you both these programs, FSU and Miami, created their own brands outside of what the traditional people needed to do. What we need to do is go back to having that and stop the thumb jacket. Life of Bill, it doesn't. Everybody says that. I will say this: the lack of hotels does suck in Tallahassee, but every one of them bitches is sold out. People find a way to do what they want to do when they want to do it. Game Day had the hotels pre-reserved. They already had Leon County Sheriff Office already going through the motions to make sure that those guys were safe. What they do is they have about 3 to 5 locations that they're thinking about before they set their minds on it. Florida State wins on Friday. Game Day is in Tallahassee. Florida State lost. That was all the excuse they needed to go check a game that's worse with the similar things. In fact, it's flipped. The better team has 1 loss, and the team that's worse is undefeated. But at the end of the day, nobody cares. Fuck Kirk and that fucking emotional support dog he has. And if you really, I'm going to bring this up again. When we talk about a specific guy that I know very well, we can't say fuck the other side and then want the other side and get mad when the other side don't choose us. It's either like right now is a perfect opportunity in the world to stand on business. Are you is who you says you is, or is you is who you ain't? It's crazy.
Speaking of crazy, Arkansas was tired from their crazy loss against Notre Dame, 56-13, and they fired their head coach, Sam Pittman. Now, man, losing 56-13 at home to Notre Dame is not easy, but man, Sam Pittman also had to bear the bad news because, like I mentioned, Arkansas has decided to part ways with him. And Bobby Petrino will now be the interim head coach. Yes, it's Bobby Petrino right here. But scrolling back up to the original picture, let's talk about Sam Pittman. So Pittman compiled a record of 32-34 during his time in Arkansas. He led Arkansas to 3 bowl victories and initially brought stability after a period of struggle for the program. Despite a strong 9-4 season in 2021, Arkansas did not maintain consistent success. So after this, it looks like Petrino will be the interim head coach for the Razorbacks.
That's hilarious. That is hilarious. That Bobby Petrino, who got unceremoniously fired, not because he lost games, because he was banging co-eds. Like that's always going to be one of the wildest things to me, man. You fire a coach not because he sucks. Like they haven't been right since, so they may be fine now. You fired a coach because he may have a morally ambiguous life. They ain't got nothing to do with football. Like stop the head football coach is not your pastor. But like he went to Louisville, like man, hire that man back if he starts winning your games. Sam Pittman see what happens when you hire the likable, lovable fat guy? That's Sam Pittman. Sam Pittman is a hell of an O-line coach. That's probably all he should have ever been. But he got the bag. He's gonna go back to UGA and be fine. But like Arkansas has and will never, ever since colors have been allowed to play football, Arkansas hasn't been good. It was okay when Lou Holtz was there. It's not a lot, dog. Like just.
So that will conclude our college segment for today. Now we're going to move on to the NFL segment. But first, before we take a deep dive into the games, let's get a recap of the scores from week 4, courtesy of Fox Sports. Got these games to run down and discuss. But first, let's get through this. Vikings lost to the Steelers in Dublin 21-24. Falcons beat the Jaden Daniels Commanders, but Jaden Daniels was still out. So Jaden Daniels less Commanders, I guess. The Giants, under quarterback Jackson Dart, ended up beating the Chargers 21-18. Houston defeated Tennessee in a shutout win, 26-0 for that division rivalry. The Eagles lasted over the Bucks, 31-25. Man, Panthers are down bad, losing 13-42 to the Patriots. Saints losing 19-31 to the Bills. Jacksonville getting the dub, 26-21 against the Niners. The Lions beating the Browns by 24 points, 34-10. Bears holding on to the W against the Raiders, 25-24. Kansas City put BTA against the Ravens, 37-20. Rams beat the Colts by a touchdown, 27-20. And Sunday Night Football ended in a historic tie. So let's get into the Jaguars 26-21 victory over the San Francisco 49ers yesterday in the Bay. So Trevor Lawrence, 174 yards, 1 touchdown, 0 interceptions, got sacked 0 times. Brock Purdy, 22 of 38, 309 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. Man, Travis has been looking great this year on the ground. 19 carries, 124 yards, and he had a touchdown, averaging 6.5 yards a carry. Basul Tutton, 4 carries, 14 yards. Christian McCaffrey, 17 carries for 49 yards. Brian Thomas Jr. led the game in targets with 7, along with Brenton Strange, but he led the Jacksonville receivers in yards with 49 yards on 5 receptions, averaging 9.8 yards per reception. Then Brenton Strange had 6 receptions for 45 yards, averaging 7.5. Travis Hunter averaged 14 yards per catch, since he had 3 receptions for 42 yards. Hunter Long caught a receiving touchdown. McCaffrey and Jake Tongs caught a receiving touchdown as well. So you take a look right here. San Francisco lost 2 fumbles by Brock Purdy and Luke Farrell. Tyson Campbell was the leading tackler for the Jacksonville Jaguars with 9, but the MVP of this game goes to Devin Lloyd. Man, he had 8 total tackles, 6 solo, 1 tackle for loss, 2 passes defended, and had 2 interceptions as well. Man, he was out there doing his thing, all sides of the ball right there. Let's take a look at the team stats. So on 4th down, Jaguars went 1 for 1, while the Niners went 0 for 1. But the Jaguars' 3rd down efficiency was awful, 4 of 14, compared to San Francisco going 8 of 13 on 3rd downs. They actually had the same total amount of plays, but Jaguars won the game with less yards. They had the same total drives as well. So San Francisco had 306 yards in the air compared to Jacksonville's 174. San Francisco had less than 100 rushing yards, but compared to Jacksonville's 151 was no match. Jacksonville, man, they get so much penalties throughout the season and especially throughout this game. 12 penalties for 90 yards compared to San Francisco's 5 for 54. But San Francisco lost that turnover battle because they had four turnovers, with 2 fumbles lost, 2 interceptions thrown, and the Jaguars had around 5 more minutes of time of possession during this game. James, I know with the current trend of this team, a lot of the same dialogue and discourse has been the same. Man, that Jacksonville Jaguars defense is really good. The defensive line is good. Linebackers are good, but something about the offense just isn't clicking. But this game, they ended up getting the job done. You see BTJ catching some more passes. They included Travis Hunter in that offense. Got 3 receptions for 42 yards. So what did the Jaguars do differently, if anything, from this game compared to the previous?
They stuck with the run. I mean, Travis Etienne had a big game. He averaged, I believe, 6 yards per carry. The entire seg as a whole averaged 5 yards a carry. Sometimes it seems like a guy shifts away and gets a little pass happy, but when you have 63 plays of offense, that's a lot in the NFL game. So what did they have? Trevor had 31 passes, but 7 technically it was 38 passes, 38 rushing, 38 passing plays in my opinion. Trevor ran the ball for 7 if I remember correctly. So but 63 plays, it looks like you probably had 38 that were called one way. Then you had so we took 7, so it's 25. So 25 actual true runs. And I think that's where the issue comes. But I think Liam is trying to trying to put force the leadership role on offense to a guy that probably shouldn't be it, but I can't tell you who the leader on offense needs to be. So there is nobody who's just stepped up and is that guy. So the easiest person to do is the person who has the ball more often than not. The key to Jacksonville Jaguars success is to limit the amount of fuck-ups that Trevor Lawrence can give you. I think if Trevor Lawrence is under 5 fuck-ups, you can win the game. When he gets over 5, so we're going to start tracking those in games. So like, okay, because it sounds oversimplistic, but the key is, did Trevor Lawrence play a better game than Brock Purdy? Brock Purdy had more yards passing. I believe his completion percentage was shit, and he had more turnovers. So to me, Trevor Lawrence played better than Brock Purdy. Did Travis Etienne have a better game than Christian Kirk? You can't tell me he did not have a better game than Christian Kirk. I believe he did. Our wide receivers, whatever. At the end of the day, and you have to include the Parker Washington's punt return in that. Basil Tudor almost got you a kickoff return. So 3 phases of the game: the Jags won special teams, the Jags won defense, and this. We cannot, just because we paid Trevor Lawrence, does not mean we can consistently say he has to be what he's not. He needs to be a game manager. And there's nothing wrong with the game manager. Game managers win games. The job of a quarterback is to distribute the ball and put it in the hands of playmakers. That's why you drafted Travis Hunter. We could say he should not have been drafted or not. That's not the case. He's here. That's why you drafted BTJ. Hey, boys had the yips. He had a better game than they were catching. Parker Washington has proven to you that he deserves to be on the field. Now, hopefully, De'Ami Brown comes back healthy. You got 4 guys that you can do something with. And a running back that I believe needs to be incorporated more, not just in the running game, but in the passing game. You have to get Travis Etienne involved, not just in fucking screens. Wheel routes, angle routes, flex them out, go 20 personnel, 21 personnel. Also, our tight ends are really, really good. I believe the unsung hero right now, this team, is Britton Strange. Because if anybody's going to catch the hospital ball, it's going to be Britton Strange. He understands his role is not to live long. My role is to catch this, and I am a pawn on this chessboard. And I'm going to sacrifice my body to make Trevor look good. Trevor still doesn't play mother. The reason why I'm saying this is because now Brock Purdy did this shit too. And it feels good to be on the other side because it lets me know that the Jags defense is a lot better. We just don't play complimentary ball. There's no our offense doesn't do enough. Like 3 turnovers, this should be a 21-point win. And it wasn't. We get a kickoff return. Again, Trevor Lawrence with the 5 fuck-ups, right? You know how much time you have. Trevor doesn't know how to play with in little time or when you're up with a lot of time and you're trying to kill clock. He doesn't know 2-minute drill or 1 minute in NFL, nor does he know 4-minute offense. In year fucking 5. Hey, yeah, y'all want to come on here, type with your thumbs and say, oh, well, you can tell who don't know ball. Yeah, Trevor. It's clear. But he is what we have. We must work with it. He's not the worst quarterback, but he's not worth the #1 overall pick, and he's not worth the check that we're having to write for him at this moment. But we can fix that, and we can work with it to make him the right quarterback of the Jacksonville Jaguars if he would just embody it and listen and stop trying to do shit that's outside of his wheelhouse. How in the fuck do you know you have 15 seconds and no timeout and you make a completion in the middle of the field? I'm actually going to blame Travis Etienne for not batting the fucking ball down. You shouldn't have caught the shit. We went from having an opportunity to have another deep shot into the end zone and then kick a field goal to having no choice to barely clock the ball before we ran out of time. And to be honest with you, I don't think we were set. Referees just looked out for his stupidity and his parlay. He almost walked out without points. There's nothing wrong with being critical over the highest paid employee on your team. And the most important part, because we only go as far as his arm takes us. It is frustrating. I'm going to speak for the other players in the locker room because you got to have your guys back. It's frustrating as a defense when you've done all that fucking work and you don't have nothing to show for it. Now, I will say this, defense can help us out a whole lot. Just score the fucking touchdown. You'll help I have you on both my fantasy teams. People thought I was crazy. I said, I feel something. I feel it in my spirit. Because if you don't learn how to score and learn how to occupy the clock, there's a dude, a light-skinned dude who sounds like Kermit the Frog coming on Monday. They're a better overall franchise than us. They know how to win. And they're not doing it very well right now. But, man, what a great opportunity that they're seeing to get it on track with the Jacksonville Jaguars. But what a great opportunity for the Jacksonville Jaguars to prove that they're not a circle game. Then by beating the Chiefs and launching yourself into the conversation of the top 5 teams in the AFC. That would be a paradigm shift from what we've had before. I do believe Liam is a good coach. Camp has won me over as a DC for making chicken salad out of chicken shit. He's got guys playing very well that don't normally play that well. The best player on the defense yesterday was the man with 2 last names. The reason why I say that is because while he did not get a sack, he was causing pressure and wreaking havoc the entire game. Brock Purdy was just moving around. I think a lot of the interceptions that Brock Purdy threw were due to just being uncomfortable in that pocket. He makes Eric Armstead look better because now you have to step up, and Eric is a large human, much like Calais Campbell. And, man, we need to hope that Trayvon's not hurt. But that DC has got his guys playing out of their mind. They're winning in spite of having, number 3, Tyson is not playing very well right now. And they keep dropping guys. And then, the safeties are not great. That's probably the weakness of this defense, but they're they're hitting, they're biting. You saw what an infirmary ball looks like. I know that wide receiver. I think it's for the 49ers scored that last touchdown. He's pissing blood. Man got hit right in the liver, dog. The Jags are again. I'm not gonna be mad. A win's a win. NFL is designed to win the close games. But man, that shit is fire though.
That wide receiver you were referring to was Jawan Jennings, if I'm not mistaken, who got hit at the hospital ball. Yeah, Jawan Jennings from Tennessee, wide receiver on the 49ers. And James, you're bigging up our DC, so let's continue that love because the Jaguars defense has forced 3+ turnovers in every game this year. Jaguars are currently leading the NFL in takeaways and leading the NFL in differential between takeaways and own turnovers. I think Jaguars are +9, 13 takeaways, and only 4 turnovers. So we're leading the league as well in that category. So huge shout out to Jaguars defense and the DC Anthony Campanelle on doing a great job and having them boys playing out of body. James, one thing I also wanted to show was the snap count courtesy of PFF Pro Football Focus. And I wanted to talk about a specific player, our number 1 draft pick this year, Travis Hunter. So Travis Hunter actually had 38 snaps on offense, but on the defensive side of the ball, he had 9 snaps. It looks like they are limiting Travis on the defensive side of the ball, and he had 3 receptions for 42 yards last game. So what do you think this means for Travis? Do you think they're just going to continue to push him to that offensive side of the ball because snaps keep dropping on that defensive side of the ball?
Here's why he's kind of lost on defense right now. He needs to continue to get better. He needs to understand what they're trying to do, and he's a liability in tackling, and we need him on offense more right now. De'Ami Brown is out, so when you're left with Parker Washington and a BTJ, that's and Brendan Strange, and your most reliable wide receiver is Brendan Strange. Like shit, kind of need another person, right? Isn't that common sense? And he's not jamming. Like again, let's just be like again. He's not you're not putting him on the number 1 wide receiver for the other team. And to be honest with you, most teams have a 1A and a 1B. I don't want him. Like we saw what happened with Cincinnati when he's with a wide receiver that's physical and big. We also saw that in college. It don't end well. So I'm not mad at it. I'm glad he's playing. And I think anybody with common sense, I still think we wasted way too many resources to draft him as high as we did. But if anybody with common sense, which I know it's not that common, realizes that he's not your number 1 corner, he's not your number 1 wide receiver, he's your slot wide receiver, and he's your guy that you want to cover the slot in passing downs. That's what it needs to be. And you don't want to be, you want to be in those passing down situations like that maybe 15 times a game on defense. 3rd and long. 4th and long. Let him be able to flourish in his strengths. Stop thinking that just because I paid a guy a lot of money, which was a mistake, but that's the mistake we paid, that he has to be on the field to justify what we're paying him, because that's just not how this shit works.
You mentioned you were a fan of first-year head coach Liam Cohen, and he was not a fan of Robert Robert Salah's comments regarding Jacksonville and their ability, especially Liam Cohen and Gladstone's on quote unquote stealing signs. He said that in a recent press conference, and it looks like Liam Cohen took wind of the video going viral because he had this to say to Robert Salah after the game. Yeah, Liam. He said, "Keep my name out your mouth." James looks like our coach.
Yeah, he didn't
standing
say.
on.
You had to read the lips.
Oh, okay.
Shout out to my boy. Damn, I can't think of my guy. Marcel. Only Jacksonville team to go out. Only news station to go out there was Action.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah.
You seen Bobby's video?
That was from the fight video.
Yeah.
That was from the game last week.
Oh, okay.
That wasn't this week.
Okay.
Yeah, that was for the game last week. I mean, Bobby don't want. I'm about to steal. Like, I'm gonna show Bobby how to make money off of Bobby's videos. I took one of his videos for the interview because he didn't want to give it to me. Make sure y'all go follow Bobby BTV on YouTube and all the social medias. Really, really good young man. He's trying to do some stuff. I believe he's going to be the next Nara Ross from out of the city. If not, Little Duval. I've seen he's young. He's got the energy for it, and he's going to grind. He's in that place where he's going to do stuff. But like, I'm gonna post that video on our YouTube and get some bread from him. Just because I love him.
This should be a big video.
Yeah, I took the video that it's just one of the interviews, and I put it on the channel. Got 1,000 like that. Like, so it's like, when you're winning, you just gotta time some stuff up. But you see the big ass Action News Jacks thing right there. Marcel did his thing on that. I'm one put up that David Williams. Don't know, but I'm intrigued. I don't even watch TV like that, but I need you to tell me where that miniseries is. Is that Netflix? Is that Apple TV? Apparently, it's Cocaine Quarterback, about a USC quarterback turned cartel kingpin. I'm intrigued.
I will find out.
I like cocaine narratives. I like quarterbacks in football. It merges a lot of things. There's Michael Irvin in this. I thought Michael Irvin seems like he should be involved in that series. But all right, it's a couple things. Play the video again, Jaden. Let's walk through this. So I'm gonna say first and foremost, now that I've watched the full video, it doesn't have the full luster that I wanted it to have, but I'm still liking Liam Cohen's energy, and it makes me like him more. King Julian says he's about that fucking life. He likes to move it. So my man Salah been talking that shit, right? Popping his gums. Remember, I told y'all, two strongest muscles in the social media era are the thumbs and the mouth and the mandibles. And defensive coordinators are supposed to be the crazy guys. Salah's an intense guy. He's over there looking like the villain from 300. Y'all know the guy I'm talking about, the Persian King.
Yeah.
He's looking like the Persian King. And he was watching 300 and says, nah, I'm about to come over here and I'm about to flex on this dude. So he goes over there and says he does his best. Because again, we can say what we want to say. Will Smith is not a gangster. Chris Rock got it right. He got slapped by the most ungangster rapper in the history of rap. But he is big.
Yeah,
the man played Ali. Chris Rock is petite. Malia said, keep my name out your motherfucking mouth. And he stood on business. And what happens is, what I will give him props for is the combine wasn't the proper time to address this. Too much shit going on. Too much shit going on at the combine. You just got a new job, right? You don't want to embarrass your new employer. You got your little nerdy cousin there, and James Gladstone. You know he ain't got your back. You don't know if the players got your back right now. So you ain't going looking for him. But you said, you know what? Oh, they on the schedule. Oh, yeah. Hell yeah. Oh, you got to explain to me. And so they said about the sign stealing and all this other shit and, whatever. Hey, that's called research. It ain't stealing. If you toss up signs and I can get a beat on your sign, that means you need to change your fucking signs. I'm going to give you a good point. When we were playing in Florida State, we were at Florida State. We had audibles, right? Down said, hurt. And McGrew, 44. That was our sprint draw. That was our bread and butter play. You know what happens when you don't change the name of a fucking play call for decades? People kind of get a read on it. That's why we started calling it the name of the player, like the number of the player. So Sam McGrew was number 44. Well, guess what happens when they realize Sam McGrew is number 44? They start realizing that's 44. 44 comes right here. Even numbers to the right, odd numbers to the left. They can point. That's not the defense's job. I can't get mad at the defense for me not fucking changing.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you can know what the play is. You got to stop it. The job is to get as much information as you can get, disseminate the information on the field, and then stop them motherfuckers. Yeah, this is what we call on site. You can tell Liam this is why you need your head coach to embody the community. And it's Duval. Yeah, embody what we got going. My man is doing his damn thug dizzle, and I love it. Kudos to Liam Cohen. I almost keep calling him Leo Cohen because of the rap stuff. But, I like it, man. Keep this shit up, man. Tell them bitches to keep the same energy when you see me.
And where's Salah working? I mean,
Salah was the DC at San Francisco when they were good, went to the New York Jets, got their asses whooped, came back to get a job.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, he's a good DC. Just not in that, you know what? There are people in life like that. There are people who are phenomenal. I know people don't want to believe this. There are phenomenal fathers out here that are terrible mates. Phenomenal moms that just fuck everybody. Multiple things can be true. You can be a terrible person and good at your job. Yeah. And that Salah just might being a DC might just be what he needs to be.
Let's get through these week 4 slate of games, some notable players and moments from those games. First things first, man, everybody thought the Chargers would have the Giants' number since they benched Russell Wilson for rookie quarterback, 25th overall pick, Jackson Dart. But Jackson Dart and company ended this game with a victory 21-18 over the Los Angeles Chargers. So Justin Herbert had 2 interceptions. Jackson Dart 13-20, 111 yards and 1 touchdown. He also had 10 rushes for 54 yards as well. Cam Scatterbo 25 carries for 79 yards as well.
I saw something with Cam Scatterbo. It was the greatest thing. It goes back to what they said. White running backs come in 2 types: cerebral, and they put Christian McCaffrey as a cerebral, right? And then the red crown tastes the best. And they put Cam Scatterbo, and it just showed like he's just over there just headbutting people on pass pro. Again, this isn't a new thing, guys. You followed this show. I was high on Scatterbo last year, man. Remember I was disappointed that he wasn't at the Reese Senior Bowl? I went for one person. I needed a cold-ass Pilgrim shirt signed by Cam Scatterbo. And he dissed me, man. But Jackson Dart, shout out to him. And y'all fucking up my parlay. When they said Jim Harbaugh It was something I think it said something about he does good against rookie quarterbacks. Then I knew, they finna lose now. Adam Fuller's over there too, and FSU fans don't want to be undone. And he Adam Fuller was sacrificing his safety so that Florida State fans could have somebody to blame again. So now I'm just joking.
So this is the full list of QBs to win their first career start versus a team 3-0 or better over the last 20 years. And that list only consists of Jackson Dart. So speaking of the Giants get their first win against the Chargers since 1998, 27 years, and they finally got their first win. So shout out to the Giants, man. That 27-year losing streak has been broken. So let's continue to keep on keeping on with the Giants because, James, we have some bad news coming from their wide receiver room. So Malik Neighbors left the game with that apparent leg injury, and it seems like, although it is not confirmed, that he has believed to have torn his ACL. This is according to Ian Rappaport, the NFL insider for the NFL Network. So, man, he was one of the 4 rookies last year to have 1,000 by receiving yards, and looks like he has torn his ACL. Sorry for all of my people who picked him in fantasy football.
Did you see what OBJ said?
Something about him getting another shot, or he feels for him.
Feels for him, and he says it's like they can't keep talking about play. So one of the biggest pushes right now is we've got more technology. I remember when this grassy turf first came in. There was a movie called Flubber that had just came out. And John Madden used to call this Flubber. And the first team to incorporate this were the Seattle Seahawks. There have been so many. I personally don't know and don't care. Grass is tough to upkeep unless you have it like the perfect grass. NFL has good grounds crews. But like if you've ever walked an NFL stadium, right, toward the end of the season, there's like grass patches that they spray paint green so that it looks really good on TV when it's far away. But like it's patchy. It's hard because you go through winter months, you go through rain, the wear and tear. There has to be cut low for the speed of the game. A lot of different stuff like that. But a lot of people are saying they're getting injured, especially on the turf that isn't properly maintained. Like you don't put enough of the rubber on there, all that different stuff. Like your cleats it's carpet. It's literally carpet with the best way to the Easter grass. You know, the little grass that people put in the Easter eggs. It's carpet with that and tire and rubber tire, ground up rubber tire. And your cleat can get stuck. All kinds of different things. Like I remember when you walk on new stuff, you can actually feel if it's not enough rubber, you can feel the cleat penetrated. So it's not a great thing, and people are getting hurt. And OBJ was like, "Oh, you have it pulled up? Yeah, go ahead. We can just read that."
Quote, "Dear at NFL, I mean this with the utmost love and respect. We, the NFL, take all the precautions in the world with everything else when it comes to players' health and safety. Please, please, please get rid of the turf. Thank you in advance. Love."
And it's a lot of injuries. It's not any softer to fall on. It actually heats up. It makes the field hotter. They have new technology that tries to make it cooler, like the newer ones, but it's still fucking hot. And it's just, I know a lot of schools, a lot of people are switching to it because of the fiscal. You don't have to water it every day, so you don't have to cut it. You don't have to do a lot of other different things, but it's just not, it's not worth it.
Shout out to OBJ for taking to Twitter and giving his opinion on the matter because, man, it seems like these injuries keep on keeping on with this turf field. So, wishing a speedy recovery for Malik Neighbors. Let's continue on with this week's slate of games. And the next game we're going to discuss is the Colts versus the LA Rams. So AD Mitchell owes the city of Indy some points. Not too sure if you guys are all aware, but AD Mitchell had this touchdown catch to the end zone. He was there. He was getting the promised land, 76 yards. But when he got to the 1 yard line, he fumbled the ball through the back of the end zone, picked it up, and the refs called it a touchback. And as well, before you get into that, James, he also prevented a Jonathan Taylor rushing touchdown because he had an offensive holding penalty. It would have been a 58-yard touchdown for Jonathan Taylor, but AD Mitchell had a holding penalty. And
put that back up. Put that picture back up. All right, man. Was there somebody near him? It doesn't look like it. Not close enough.
It wasn't. No, he wasn't. No, he was untouched, pretty much.
Keep going. That crossed the plane. Or are they trying to say like the ball left his hand before? The ball has crossed the plane. And I'm sick of y'all trying to protect the kids from shit that they don't need to be protected from. If your kid is watching the NFL and wants to, like, that's where we want to go. I don't give a fuck what they do at that level. I want my kids to play at that level. If you've got to that level, you deserve to celebrate. There is literally nobody there to make that play. It is okay to say touchdown, guys.
He could just wait one.
He could. I'm with you.
Second.
Yes, he could. But to call that is being a dick. You're being what you don't want him to be. Fine him if you want to. But, like, you're fucking up the level of the gameplay, dog. Come on, bro. Like, you know that's a fucking touchdown. We all know that's a touchdown. Well, we don't want the kids doing it. Why not? That's not hurting. You know what? This is, again, we're so worried about everybody's emotions, except for not being worried about people's emotions when it actually counts. Everybody's sensitive until they're not sensitive. You're only sensitive when you're on the wrong end of it. We all badasses when we're on the right end of it. Now, that being said, I want that referee crew when the Jags play the Colts. They must be stopped at all costs right now because I don't know what the fuck is going on over there. But my man, Jason Voorhees, the running back. I can't think of his name from Ashton Jennings. Damn near did this shit, but he was untouched. Damn. Jim Irsay had to die for the Colts to get better.
I mean, I didn't say
it. Jim Irsay had to die. Jim Irsay was, again, good at his job, terrible person. We can admit these things. They'll probably say the shit when I'm gone. I'm the only person who had the balls to say that I love my grandmama when she was drinking and cussing. That was my favorite. What's the Spawn Dragon iteration or whatever? Like my favorite version of my grandma. Like she's changed. She morphed over the years. Yeah, I don't know who this soft lady was at the end. Well, she was never soft with me. She still kept that shit up with me. She called me a punk and all that shit. Loved it. I love that version of my grandmother. Oh, she needed to find Christ and she did this and that. Man, fuck all that. Like, no. The Island May that was out there, that's what I like. I don't like this iteration of the Colts. Jim Irsay died, sacrificed himself so they could respawn into some goddamn good football team. Don't like it. Don't like it. They got Daniel Jones playing good. I know it's of the devil.
He's lucky he got Pablo Torre on his butt for something.
The Daniel Jones?
Jim Irsay.
Oh. But nah, all jokes aside, that's bullshit. But that's funny though. That is funny. I'm glad I don't have him in fantasy.
Whew, would have been super upset if I had JT on fantasy and he got that touchdown called back. But we're going to show some love to an NIL, Jared Verse. So Jared Verse recorded a season high 6 pressures in week 4 against the Colts. 3 of them came under 2.5 seconds after recording only 4 such pressures in the first 3 weeks. So Verse now leads the team with 17 pressures through 4 games. Whew, he is showing why he is one of the top defensive linemen, defensive players in his league for his age, because 17 pressures through 4 games, averaging over 4 pressures a game. Man, that's some great numbers to have from Jared. So shout out to Jared Verse for doing your thing and causing some disruption. Moving along. Let's discuss some more games. Previously mentioned, the Eagles had a really close one with the Buccaneers at Tampa, but they pulled through. I just wanted to show you guys a quick snapshot of the box score, because James, like you said, you don't need to have a great quarterback, great numbers from a QB to win games, because Jalen Hurts went 15 of 24, and he had 130 yards in the air and 2 touchdowns as well, along with 9 carries for 62 yards. Comparing that to Baker Mayfield, who went 22 of 40 for 289 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, and 2 carries for 13 yards. 130 yards in the air and 2 touchdowns. That's efficient if you ask me, but just want to bring this stat up to you, James, just because you've relayed this sentiment that, hey, the Eagles are doing it with these numbers, and they're continuing to do it on a good team, might I add. And you can just take a look at Jalen's numbers right there for you, because, man, he's doing it, and they are doing it as well. So shout out to the Eagles and Bucks for that game. Moving along. Oh, you want to?
No, you good. No, I was just gonna say nothing wrong with being a game manager, dog. The goal is to win games.
Facts. I hope you're not taking a shot at Cam Newton with that one, with his sentiments on Jalen Hurts.
But Cam Newton said that. Like, this is just, we're so fucking sensitive in this world. Cam never said Jalen wasn't good. He just said he's not a top. I believe the true argument would be, and my grandmother's a big Eagles fan, by the way, and like, he's on a better team. Like, if Jalen Hurts is struggling, right, Saquon Barkley can win that game for you. When the defense is good enough to keep you out of bad situations. You just don't want to turn it over. And the more you throw it, the more you put yourself in situations where you can turn the ball over. It's nothing wrong with what was said. And the crazy part is, we've seen it. He did it last week. If he needs to do numbers, throwing the ball, he can. It's just what the offense asked him to be is what he is. And it's great. I think he's a good quarterback. But I can... If you said he wasn't top 10, I'm not finna like fight you over it. I can kind of see your point.
I just want to read these stats from a wide receiver, James. Let's start out with the beginning of the season. 1 reception, 8 yards. And then he had 5 receptions, 27 yards, 6 receptions for 109 yards, and 2 receptions for only 7 yards. James, that's A.J. Brown on the Philadelphia Eagles. And
run that back one more time.
1 reception, 8 yards in their season opener versus Dallas. 5 receptions, 27 yards against Kansas City. 6 receptions, 109 yards against the Rams. And 2 receptions for only 7 yards against Tampa Bay. Do you think there's a disconnect between A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts, even though Jalen Hurts isn't much of a passer, it's definitely showing with AJ Brown's stats.
Again, it's the system. I think AJ Brown's good. Unfortunately, he's on my fantasy team. I can't play him. But like, you just gotta know. He's got to know that this is probably he's going to win a lot of Super Bowls, right? And this goes to what my boy Gilbert Arenas joked about on his show, and that crazy bitch who got her husband fired from the Dolphins, got mad and left his show, and now we don't know what the fuck she's doing besides fake woke shit. Can't think of her name, but I remember she was a sports analyst. Just fine, crazy though. You can't Gilbert said, "I'd rather take the check than win the rings," and she was like, "Oh, that's crazy," blah blah blah. And I'm with him, like Miko, that's right. Like, he's going to either have to take the rings or he got to get the fuck out of there. Like, he's literally losing his free agency. Because all they're going to do is say, "Oh, well, you're a great teammate." Well, you didn't have but 800 yards receiving. And everybody knows why he only had 800 yards receiving, but they don't give a fuck about that. They just, you are what your stats read. He's a good teammate, though.
Definitely a good teammate. He did have 9 targets in the game, though. He led the Eagles receiving corps in targets, but he only had 2 catches to show for those 9 targets. And huge shout out to Emeka Egbuka as well, a rookie, standout rookie. He had 4 catches for 101 yards and a receiving touchdown against the elite Philadelphia Eagles defense. I think, if I'm not mistaken, Cooper DeJean was the one matching up against him. So I know that must have been a hard matchup for the young sophomore player against Emeka Egbuka, one of the standout rising rookies in this year's NFL class. So moving along, the Texans had a shutout game against the Titans, and Cam Ward had to keep it real after the game, saying that, man, we just really suck. Nothing more to say about that, because if you can't put up points on the board, what are we talking about? So we're going to move along to the Ravens versus Chiefs game. Man, this did not go as expected for any of my Ravens fans out there, but I know you guys are battling this loss, but most importantly, you guys are battling what it seems like to be a Lamar Jackson hamstring injury, because Lamar did end up going out of the game, and the Chiefs ultimately decided to run up the score. Because do you know who the Ravens' second string quarterback is, James?
No.
Cooper Rush. Cooper Rush took over for Lamar Jackson in this game. So let's just go through the stats. Patrick Mahomes, 270 yards, 25 of 37, 4 touchdowns. Lamar Jackson got sacked 3 times, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, and he went 14 of 20. Man, for anybody who has Derrick Henry in your fantasy or decided to put him in your parlay, he's probably not been hitting this year. 8 carries for the King, 42 yards, average of 5.3 yards per carry. Justice Hill, 3 carries, 76 yards, 25.3 average per carry. And Lamar had 6 carries for 48 yards as well. Xavier Worthy had 2 carries for 38 yards. He led the Kansas City, and Xavier Worthy also led them in receiving as well. Hollywood Brown and Juju Smith-Schuster scored for Kansas City. Justice Hill scored on the receiving tip and the rushing tip for Baltimore. And Lamar actually had 1 fumble, and he lost that fumble as well. And Leo Chanel intercepted Lamar Jackson. But let's take a look at these team stats. Man. They did not do good on third down efficiency right there. They had similar ratios, 3 of 10, 5 of 15. That's around 30% to around 33%. And Kansas City was able to run 17 more plays than the Ravens, and they had 22 more total yards of offense compared to the Ravens. They actually had 70 more passing yards than the Ravens as well, with less rushing yards, and the Ravens had 16 more yards of penalties with those 2 turnovers, I might add, 1 fumble loss and 1 interception thrown, and they had around 10 more minutes of time of possession, around 9 more minutes than the Baltimore Ravens. The Chiefs really needed this one, James, but man, Baltimore off to a 1-3 start this year, and it seems like we may not know the severity of Lamar Jackson's injury because the MRI will determine severity and timeline. Grade 1, 1 to 2 weeks. Grade 2, 3 to 6 weeks. So, James, was this a more impressive win, more meaningful win for the Kansas City Chiefs, or was this more of a disheartening loss for the Ravens?
More disheartening loss. I mean, you got guys hurt. A win's a win. At the end of the day, you got to log them. But when you lose, like they beat them with a injured Lamar Jackson, the Chiefs need all the wins they get because they've had a really rough schedule. They just haven't been performing to the level in which we're used to the Chiefs performing. So, but them being able to cut out a win and Lamar and Derrick Henry kind of effectively being sidelined this season. Lamar hasn't played bad. The team, like especially the Ravens defense has just really been like stinky. Like I wouldn't like that's just not what they're known for. Like they're not known for shootouts. They're known for stopping people.
Their defense has been giving up a lot of yards and points this season. But let's talk about the Ravens offense right quick. So, according to OptaStats, the Ravens 111 points this season are the most through 3 games of a NFL season by any team with multiple losses in NFL history. Of the 47 teams in NFL history to score 110 points through 3 games of a season, Baltimore's 96 points allowed are the most. So basically, what is this saying? That the Ravens in their 3 games are offensively sound, but on that defensive side of the ball, they're letting the teams catch up to them because they allowed 96 points in 3 games. So that's a lot of points for you guys right there. And we also have to highlight Patrick Mahomes because he has did one of the most highly accomplished, highly touted feats in football. He is now the fastest player in NFL history to reach 250 passing touchdowns. He did this in 116 games. So shout out to Patrick Mahomes for becoming the fastest player in league history to reach 250 passing touchdowns. Huge shout out to Patrick, man. Shout out to him.
It's still one of the best. That's why I think if I say that about the Ravens. If the Jags are able to beat the Chiefs, then they've beat. Even though the Chiefs don't have quite the talent or the threats at receiver, the thing that makes that team move is Patrick Mahomes. So if they're able to beat that Patrick Mahomes led Jags team, then that's a hell of a victory for them.
Speaking of a victory, man, the Bears had a close one against the Las Vegas Raiders. The Bears ended up pulling away 25-24. So, James, I just wanted to highlight some players on the offensive tip for the Raiders. Man, Geno Smith is looking rough. He was 14-21, 117 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. Ashton Jeanty, 21 carries, 138 yards for a touchdown. And Ashton Jeanty also had 2 receptions, 17 yards, and 2 receiving touchdowns as well. I believe he joins Bo Jackson and Marcus Allen as the only 3 rookies in Raider history to have a 3-touchdown game. So he's in great company as of right now. And if you wonder why the game was so close, it's because Las Vegas in the 4th quarter drove down the field after Chicago scored a touchdown on the previous drive. They got into field goal range. Las Vegas set up a 54-yard field goal, but it was blocked by the Bears. So the Bears ended up pulling away with this game with a victory. And James, you mentioned Jason Voorhees, and I just wanted to share this post with you, courtesy of Underdog, because they tallied.
Went back.
He told Chip Kelly, this is what I do. Without Michael Myers' stance, 17.3 touches, 49 total yards per game. And with the Michael Myers stance, 23 touches, 155 total yards per game, and 3 touchdowns as well. So Chip Kelly, you can take that and shove it up your you know what. But hey, man, looks like he is back better than ever.
He tried it their way. Went back to his way, and shit looked like it worked.
Yeah, man, looking like it worked for him. So I just want to shout out the Bears, however, though, their special teams for blocking the field goal and getting them into that 1-point victory. So we're finally at our Sunday night football shootout between the Packers and the Cowboys. This was a highly anticipated game since this was Michael Parsons' first game against the Dallas Cowboys after recently getting traded to the Green Bay Packers. So let's take a look at this game, talk about some of the important facts in this game, and let's just hear what you guys have to say about the Packers versus the Dallas Cowboys. So just wanted to share this with you guys. So the Packers and Cowboys Sunday night football game ends as the second highest scoring tie in NFL history. So that's a pretty interesting fact for you guys right there. And let's take a look at the box score. So starting off with Jordan Love, 31 of 43, 337 yards and 3 touchdowns. Dak had 3 touchdowns as well. And he went 31 of 40, had a better completion percentage, 319 yards as well. Both the quarterbacks were sacked once. Javonte Williams had a rushing touchdown, and Josh Jacobs had 2 rushing touchdowns as well. Romeo Doubs, he was the only receiver to get a touchdown, and he had a hat trick. 6 receptions, 58 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Jake Ferguson had a touchdown for Dallas, and George Pickens had 8 receptions, 434 yards, and 2 touchdowns as well. So he was doing his thing out there. NFL young boy, as some might call him. But, man, the Cowboys were awful on third down, going 4 of 11 compared to the Packers going 10 of 14. And in their total yards, Green Bay actually led the Cowboys in that statistical category. So moving along, they had similar passing numbers, but on the rushing tip, Green Bay was a little bit more successful, averaging 4.7 yards per rush compared to the Packers. To the Cowboys, 4.5. The Cowboys had a lot more penalties and more yards taken by those penalties. 11 penalties, 95 yards compared to 7 for 53 by the Packers. And the Packers had a turnover, and they both had similar times of possessions. But, man, seems like when you count Dak Prescott out, he shows you why you should not do that, because they marched down the field and they did a crazy pass. George Pickens, man, he was doing his thing, caught a 28-yard pass from Dak Prescott as well. And also, Dak Prescott had a crazy throw to the end zone as well. His receiver ran back to the ball, caught the ball as well. But just have some post for you guys to discuss. Courtesy of OptaStats, this is the first game in NFL history where both QBs had 30-plus completions, completed 70% of their passes, threw for 300-plus yards, threw 3 touchdown passes, and also had 0 interceptions as well. So, shout out to NFL youngboy, a.k.a. George Pickens, because George Pickens leads the NFL in boundary target yards, so that's within 2 yards at the sideline, since he entered the league in 2022. So, man, he uses that sideline to his advantage. Shout out NFL, young boy. And courtesy of next gen stats, we have the quarterback chart right here for you. This is the passing chart of Jordan Love, and we also have it for Dak Prescott as well. So, courtesy of Next Gen Stats, fun fact, Jordan Love completed 28 of 28 passes under 10 air yards in the Week 4 tie against the Cowboys, 6 more than any other quarterback without an incompletion since 2016. Love.
I hate to cut you off, dog, but I just want people to like when they look at 7-on-7 and they look at the game. Jordan Love is one of the better quarterbacks in the NFL.
Yeah.
Look where, forget down the field. Forget 5 yards. Look at everything under 5 yards that man completed or threw the passes he threw.
Right.
I try to tell people that the game is not as downfield as what people think. You only see the highlights.
It's changed over the last couple of years too, I think.
But it's
even more shorter.
It's because the athletes are so fucking good. It's so hard to you don't have enough time.
Myles Garrett's.
Like, so when you do throw it, look at where all the incompletions happen.
Yeah.
That's not even, again, I tell people, you don't understand what a big play in the NFL is. That's why people are like, you don't watch ball. You don't. I'm like, no, you don't. A big play, it's literally, look at ESPN's metric. A big play is 20 yards or more in the NFL.
Right.
That is considered a big play. And I got kids every day, man, we ain't throwing the ball enough, or they don't ever throw it deep. It's not, the game wasn't designed to be like that.
You got 2 deep safety.
Right. It's supposed to cut it off. Football is a numbers game. When you understand that, your life gets simpler. Sorry.
Even Kansas City has been more regulated to a dink and dunk or a shorter yard offense.
Just wanted to shout out Jordan Love, and man, that statistic is insane as well. And speaking of statistics, Prescott completed 29 of 35 passes against zone coverage for 294 yards, his most since 2022, and 3 touchdowns as well. And from this graph right here, you can see that he was in that first level of the field as well, with most of his completions coming from that area, from that line of scrimmage to that 5-yard mark, James. So it's that underneath balls, James. It's those short yard underneath balls in the first level of the field. And yeah, you can see right here, his passes came around the plus 10 yard marker, but seems like, man, what's working for these guys is those short gains to get them down the field, and death by 1,000 cuts, more so than one big cut. So you see it right here. You see the graphs, Next Gen Stats putting these graphs for you. Show it to your teams, show it to your QBs, because, hey, man, this was a shootout, and this is how you get the bullets to get that shootout right there, those short yard pass gains. So
this is why I told somebody I think Carson's going to be fine, regardless of what happens this year, because that's basically what you just looked at is Carson Beck. If they try to push that ball down the field, I like FSU's chances even more. Let Carson do what he's good at, and they'll. I hate saying this, but they'll more than likely win with just what I've seen.
So with that, there's only 2 teams in the NFL who are undefeated. That is the Buffalo Bills and the reigning Super Bowl champions, Philadelphia Eagles. Buffalo recently beat the Saints. Eagles beating the Buccaneers at Tampa. So only 2 teams left who will face off as the only undefeated team in the league. Super excited.
Is that true that the Bills only have their opponents only have 1 win?
Let me double check, actually. Let me make sure I verify that. So you're saying in total, like their opponents only have
only one team has won.
Yeah, so that would be the Ravens, and then they played the Jets, they played the Dolphins, and then they played the
The
Saints.
Saints. Jeez. Well, the Saints are ass. Saints ass, Dolphins ass.
Yeah.
They got in a shootout with the Ravens. They played the Patriot. Wow. Wow. This is crazy. They don't have a challenge until the Chiefs.
This is the Bills schedule right here. And when they played the Ravens, there was the first game of the season, so Bills 0-0. Jets was 0-2. Dolphins were 0-3, and now the Saints are 0-4. And it looks like what James said, they won't get a true challenge until they face the Chiefs on November 2nd at 4:25 p.m. Then after that, their next challenge would be the Bucks, and then after that, I really don't know. The Eagles, I guess, would be the last challenge they have, because I can see them having their way with the Texans, Steelers, Bengals, Patriots, Browns, but the Eagles looks like their last challenging matchup. So man, Buffalo to the AFC Championship or what?
I don't know. Now with that, they're kind of propped up. I would like to see them play against somebody with a pulse and see what happens. But the Dolphins play the Jets, right?
I believe so.
So they'll have 2 combined wins. Somebody got to win today, right?
Yeah.
Or what if they tie?
Oh my gosh, that's what I mean. I had a 9 leg on that Dallas game. All I needed was Dak Prescott to do what he always does and not show up, not do anything. No, he's gonna. You know what I think about Dak Prescott? He has real yips. If there's pressure on him for real, he's gonna lose. If everybody thinks he's gonna lose, he's gonna play his best game ever. It's like I can't stand him.
That sounded like some real disdain.
It's forever since he came in the league.
We have a doubleheader tonight for the Monday night football games, and I don't know if I'm going to be watching any of these games because the Jets and Dolphins are starting at 7:15 p.m. on ESPN, and on ABC at 8:15 p.m. the Bengals are facing the Broncos. So if you're watching this game, let us know how that game was next time we have our stream, because I'm going to be watching the highlights for sure. One thing I'm not going to be watching the highlights of, though, is the Super Bowl LX halftime performance, because they recently announced that it is going to be Bad Bunny who's performing in Santa Clara, California for this year's Super Bowl halftime show. I'm excited for it. But James, what do you think about Bad Bunny becoming the Super Bowl LX halftime performer?
I respect Bad Bunny. I only know one. I know one song that he's been on, and the song was fire. By one of our favorite whores in rap, Cardi B. I like it like that. I have no idea what he said though, but I'd be rapping it with my soul. But like, I know this is a man who's been on the top of an apartment building and had like the whole street flooded. Like if you say, like I see people's comments on it, and like it's okay for it not to be for me.
Right.
Everything ain't about us.
Right.
Like if they would have put Taylor Swift out there, I'm not listening to that shit.
Right.
I'm going to politely go eat snacks during the halftime show. And then I'm going to get back to watching the football game. I know this does not compel me to want to stay. The only way I will stay for a game is if I like who the halftime show is. I didn't like Kendrick Lamar's performance. I'm just being honest with you. I'm not saying you guys tried to tell me, well, you don't know the symbolism, and
It was okay.
And Sam Jackson is Uncle Sam, and fuck all of that. I did not listening to that shit for that. I want to be entertained. Now I'll tell you who I would have fought tooth and nail. I have never hit a woman before, but I'd have slapped Sheena if she didn't get me this damn get me in the game. If Jay-Z performs, I will be there.
Oh my goodness.
But I also understand how people wouldn't want to see Jay-Z too.
Yeah, that's the most least energetic performance at the Super Bowl you'll ever
Nah, because the problem is Jay-Z has about 10. He has 10 songs that are used in movies to promote movies. Those have energy in of themselves.
50.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. But my guy, Dr. Dre just did it. Dr. Dre older than Jay.
Yeah, that is true. They had 50 Cent upside down doing
Yeah, I'm not really there for, like, I did kind of want to see Usher. If Chris Brown performs at a Super Bowl, I'm in there. I really wish I could have saw Prince or Michael Jackson. But it's okay. Like, I don't know what the fuck is wrong with people.
He's one of the biggest artists in the world.
Yeah, like this is the Super Bowl is an event, a worldwide event,
right,
in California. I don't know what Bad Bunny is, but I know he's Hispanic. I don't know which Hispanic he is, but I do know this. They put a lot of that shit to bed when people start saying Spanish words. And they also, we know Vatos, like Cypress Hill said, Vatos run California. So what better way to get that? I'm just saying, like, again, if people like Kendrick Lamar, hey, I love it for you.
Who else though? Who do they want besides him?
I'm gonna tell you, I put somebody on there. My homegirl Laura Wilson put trash. She said, "No, you're just really white, and you want to be right." And I get it. It's not for you. He's not trash. I just don't know none of the words to the song, so I'm gonna go respectfully bow out. I know how to change the channel when I don't see something I like.
Yeah.
I'm not finna be up there and be like, "Whoa, now he's got this." Man, I do know this. When they gave away the Bad Bunny Adidas a few years ago at the Super Bowl, I was mad that I didn't get a pair. And nobody else knew who Bad Bunny was. I did, because I'm a sneakerhead. I know that them shoes I could have resold them bitches for a stack that I got for free. All the Super Bowl is trying to do is how to get more eyes on the game.
Right.
Bad Bunny, what we think Taylor Swift and Beyonce do in concerts, Bad Bunny do for real.
Not to mention the movies he's been in.
Exactly.
So now we're at our big games BS portion of the day. We're going to start with our BS or bussin' category, but we actually have two topics to discuss in this category. So first, we have our normal BS or bussin' food review, where James, you're going to give a BS or bussin' verdict on these soft double chocolate cookie brownies. So I'm not even going to enlarge it, just going to play it.
You don't even need to, like, I want one now. Like, I don't even. My diabetes is tingling. It just looks satisfying. I want one now, man. It's all moist and shit.
So that's a quick BS, right? I mean, that's a quick busting right there. Quick.
Oh yeah,
yeah, easy.
Oh yeah.
I must have been.
I don't like people crazy who like dry brownies, man. Like, I don't know who raised y'all, what's going on in your life, but
yeah,
give me a good, like, you know what? I hate to say this because it's actually, you know what? Fuck, it's been enough time, right? Charlie Kirk been dead 2 weeks.
Oh my goodness.
I don't want to. I'm not saying anything like. I'm just saying this part just to say it, like, right. I think Charlie Kirk was the one who said his, like, when Cardi B made the song WAP, and his wife was like, I don't know who wants wet pussy, like that. The WAP is not wrong, like wow. There's something wrong with it. I said, I mean, your wife got that sandpaper. I said, who wants dry brownies, dry cookies, or dry vagina?
Right.
Not I, sir. Like, it hurts. Like, you're over here trying to start. You know what happens when you rub a dry stick onto a dry surface? It starts a fire. like, I don't want like my boy Reggie says he likes his lemon pepper wings like wet like good pussy. Like I want my brownies moist, man. No dry ass brownies. That brownie was moist with the cook. Man, they did it. Yeah, that's a thing right there, man. Good stuff.
That was the quickest busting in BS or busting history right there with the brownies. So, James, we have a special BS or busting. Even though this isn't about food, I wanted to get your opinions on these Miami Dolphins jerseys that they're going to be wearing tonight. So, they're called the Dark Water uniforms, and they're going to be wearing these versus the New York Jets. So, are these uniforms BS or are they busting?
Yeah, I don't like when they do. They're doing too much. Stick to your original.
A
That's what
quick,
the people
quick.
in Miami want, the old school.
I guess so. Yeah.
Want the old school white jersey.
Quick BS for the Dolphins dark water jerseys. I get it, completely understand that one. And we're going to close out the show with a topic that I don't even know has been spiraling out of control on X, on Twitter, in the HBCU world specifically. And that is because FAMU's band announcer Joe Bullard was announcing the Alabama State University's Honeybees dance team while they face off against Alabama State in Tallahassee this past weekend. FAMU did get their BTA because they got beat 14-42 by Alabama State. But the band announcer announced the Honeybees, the Alabama State dancing team, and called them, quote, the new face of Ozempic. So we got the video right here, guys, so you can hear it for yourselves. So let's take a look at Joe Bullard's comments towards the Honeybees.
You got it on mute right now, Jada, the other box.
Let me for you guys. Fix it. It should be working right now. Yep.
Congratulate them. They're now the new face of Ozempic. Congratulate them. They're now the new face of Ozempic.
All right, so let's just one. I gotta stop you, Jaden, because you just don't know. He's not the band announcer. Joe Bullard is an icon in Tallahassee. Joe Bullard is he's the voice of the Rattlers. He's the voice of the March of 100. He has been doing this since I can remember. Joe Bullard was one of the he blew up. I believe he wasn't the man. He was A&R for Columbia Records, I believe, and one of his biggest claims to fame was Mariah Carey. He was doing a lot of this stuff. Joe Bullard is a icon, and he said way worse. But I want to bring us to where we're at as a society, and I want honest dialogue. And we could go as long as we want to go on this because I put up Adrian's post. Adrian's comment right there, Jadam. So, and I'm glad we got the official name because I've been calling them the Bumblebees for a minute, and I don't want to disrespect. Disrespect would be me calling them the Bumblebees when they have an official name. The requirement is to be 250 pounds. 250 pounds for a normal male is overweight. I just want to put that out there. Ozempic makes you lose weight. So one, if he's saying they're the official weight, you know who's the official face of like? I don't know if it's Ozempic, but it's one of them. Serena Williams. She actually is an official, and she's lost weight. So to say somebody is the official face means that they're losing weight. So let's just put the words in there. What happened was you heard that, and it wasn't something complimentary in the manner in which you want. So immediately we take offense. Joe Bullitt has said some of the wildest shit ever on his show. If you're offended, probably don't go to the Florida Classic, where both people go back and forth with each other. But what I have the hardest time wrapping my mind around right now is, why are you offended? You are 250 pounds and you're proud. I'm gonna give a shout out, even though she's lost weight in her older age. But there was a girl that went to Florida State with me by the name of Kimberly. Kimberly was a big girl, still a big girl, but like tall and wide, like big. Kimberly was proud of how she looked, and she's pretty, like face card immaculate. Face card really immaculate. Makeup, face beat, all that shit, all the time. And she dressed like she was a petite woman. But you couldn't tell her she wasn't the finest thing walking. My godmother Desiree, always been chunky. You can't tell my godmama that she not the finest fucking thing walking. In order to do the things that they do, in order to dress the way that they dress, you got to be proud and secure, because you're trotting yourself out into the world that has opinions. When Trevor Lawrence throws a bad, well, I call it an infirmary ball, right? That's an observation. Right now, everybody is called Tony White everything but a child of God. They call him old cue ball head, having motherfuckers. Like, it's a lot of shit that people say. Women, I've seen fat women size shame people. What's crazy is we live in a world that says you have to accept everything that a woman does, right? Meanwhile, those women don't accept anything. But when those women get to what they actually want to be, hell, they do the same shit. This show, what fat, I'm going to call her fat because I loved her more when she was fat. What fat R&B singer have you always heard me say, I like her? I want to see what that be like. Definitely Adele. I did not even think about that. Adele could be my first white woman. Lizzo.
Oh, Lizzo, yeah.
But Adele was one of them. I didn't even think about white people. Lizzo.
I always do.
I love fat Jennifer Hudson. She sang better. I don't even listen to Kelly Price no more. Kelly Price's songs meant more to me when she was singing from the perspective of a big woman that didn't want to lose her fit man to a skinny woman. You should have told me. Oh, Jill Scott, chunky. But you know what happens when all them chunky women lose weight? It's no longer I'm proud about my size. Lizzo lost weight, did a 180 on the fat bitches real quick. Monique, whole career being fat, lost weight. Now she used to hate on skinny bitches. Now she the skinny bitch. And I'm using her language. But a man takes 5 seconds to say something, and now we're in uproar. We excuse in 2025, we excuse some of the wildest shit. Like Cardi B, it's never, oh, I'm operated in my femininity, being a whore. I don't mind it, but that's what it is. It's not, there's no other way to show your femininity than to show all your ass and your titties and all these. I'm gonna admire your femininity as a masculine man. Out of all the things in the world going on HBCUs, this is the shit. Y'all about that. Damn, y'all got a full-fledged fucking attack over your universities. And you're worried about a man saying to a bunch of women whose minimum requirement is 250 fucking pounds to be on it, making an observation. I don't understand, if you're fat and proud, where the problem is for somebody essentially stating that you're fat. You should be proud. Do rich people get mad when people say that they're rich? Would you have been bad? Would have been better if you would have done what Digital Underground? Yeah, I called you fat. Look at me, I'm skinny. It never stopped me from getting busy. Is that lyric offensive now into 2025? I ain't never seen a big woman have a heart. To be honest with you, Joe Bullock was at church with me on Sunday. That I know he was thinking the same shit watching the gospel twerkers at church on Sunday. I joked about it on my timeline. Nobody was offended when I said there's a chick 6'3", 295, because that's a fucking observation. I also said the state of the FSU offensive line is here. She had good feet, boy. That baby was dancing. That man didn't say them women couldn't dance. He didn't say they were ugly. He didn't say they were out of shape. He didn't say they were broke. He didn't say they were bitter. He didn't say anything that was bad. He just said that the face of Ozempic. If that's what you woke up on Saturday and said, I'm offended by that, you are part of the problem of the pussification of America. They know they big, and if they was really offended or if they was really upset about being big, they would be trying to fight to lose weight instead of meeting minimum requirements of being 250 pounds. Now, did Joe have to say it? Probably didn't. A lot of shit we don't have to say. At worst, it was a bad joke. People calling for that man's job. And you know what's wild? My bad, Jade. I see you got the thing. What is that, the print up of the Alabama A&M people? Now we all of it's just like the people who banned the basketball, the DJ, because he played the song of the Floja or whatever her name is, her dad's song. They play it every fucking game. They don't just play it when LSU played LSU. You just didn't know. And that doesn't give you the right to, anyways, my bad. Read the shit from the Alabama. What did the Alabama state, it's Alabama State, right? Yeah, the people have to say about this shit.
So this is from Dr. Quentin T. Ross Jr., the president of Alabama State. During the halftime show of the ASU versus FAMU football game, distasteful comments were made regarding our beloved honeybees. While we recognize the spirit of competition, there's no place for disparaging or demeaning remarks directed at our scholars. I have personally spoken with the president of FAMU and with the commissioner of the SWAC to express my displeasure with these short-sighted comments, and they have both affirmed their agreement with my sentiments. The honeybees, along with the mighty marching hornets, dedicate countless hours to their craft to deliver the unforgettable, show-stopping performances that embody the pride and excellence of Alabama State University. To have their artistry disrespected after such a performance is absolutely unacceptable. As president of this great institution, I stand firmly with the honeybees, the mighty marching hornets, and our entire student body. Honeybees, please know that you are celebrated, valued, and admired for the joy you bring to the Hornet Nation, and also for the bold and fearless way you represent the very best of ASU. Continue to shine, because your light cannot be dimmed by negativity.
What did Joe say that said, read that last, let's go to the last paragraph. What did Joe say that diminished their legacy? Because I'm missing it and I want to be mad too. Can somebody please walk me through? Because I don't want to just defend them. Maybe he shouldn't have said it. I agree. Maybe he should. But what did he say in that warranted all of those words? I didn't hear anything about him saying they didn't work hard. Was that in there? Does Ozempic imply? Like, okay, as a diabetic, let me try this. Let me try my hand at the offensive train. I'm offended as a diabetic that you're saying that being on Ozempic means you don't work hard. Did I do it right? Did I do it right? Did I stretch it enough?
I mean,
Jay, what were some of the other things that apparently that sentence did to this president of Alabama? Sorry, honeybees, please know that you're celebrating. Okay. Oh, you can't be celebrated and be on Ozempic? Being on Ozempic means that I can't do things? Did I do it right? Okay. All right. Maybe I didn't. Valued. Okay, so being on Ozempic diminishes my value, is what you're saying. No, I didn't do it right. Okay, I didn't. Okay, maybe try something. So I can't be admired and be on a GLP-1. No? Okay. All right, cool. Okay, man, I'm doing this wrong. I'm trying. I'm trying to be sassy and sensitive. And let's see here. So him saying the face of Ozempic made the performance forgettable, because nobody actually, you know what? Actually, now that I think about it, maybe it wasn't that unforgettable because nobody's actually talking about what those young ladies did. They're talking about a comment that a guy just said they're the official face of Ozempic. And in that, there was nothing. The only thing you can do is stretch and read into things. And if that's the case, we could do that for any aspect of it. Matter of fact, okay, well, they're shaking and gyrating in front of my children. I didn't pay the $20 to come to a FAMU game to see a bunch of bigger women come and just throwing that ass in a circle in front of my child. I came to watch a football game. Is that wrong? If we open ourselves up, if we don't understand the spirit of competition and these different things, to being offended in every aspect of life and missing the opportunity to really talk about the other things. Polo Kid, that's a good one. Put that up there. Well, you can't take a joke? Big women can't take jokes? Man, do you know some of the best fat jokes I've ever heard are from fat people?
Always.
And the fact that we went for halftime show is a quarter. They share the time. So let's say it's 15 minutes, right? 7.5 minutes, 7 minutes, because they got to have time to warm up. 7 minutes is what Alabama State was on the damn field for. Probably less. And Joe Bullett's comment was half of a second. I mean, it wasn't even 10 seconds. And we wrote professional letters in. And 2 weeks ago, FAMU as a university hated the president. We talked about actual things we talked about of the president. I want this clip too. Actual things we talked about the president of FAMU. Her wig. They hate the fact that she's a Ron DeSantis appointee, and that she's trying to ruin the university. And now all of a sudden, we want the president to do certain things. Y'all called that woman anti-black a couple weeks ago. You said she was a fake. She was a coon a couple weeks ago. You didn't even want her elected, overpaid, underqualified. Now she's the person that you want to defend the sanctity of black women, and you didn't even think she was a good black woman. Are you writing? We got to write this shit down and read it out loud. There's nothing. Joe's daughter is a big woman. That's the craziest part. Y'all don't even know this shit. Janelle ain't never been small. That man didn't say shit about it being bad to be a big woman. In fact, I would have never known you had to be 250 pounds to be a honeybee. My mama grew up a bit. Let me tell you about FAMU in the 80s. I don't know. Free story time by James. I hear these incredible stories about my mama, my auntie, and my auntie Les and their friend Felicia. They grew up together. 3 women, all big women in the 80s. If you want to know when it was an incredible, tough time to be a big woman, try being big back in the day. And there was no social media, but a lot of social gatherings. My mom said one time they walked into a gathering and somebody said they go 3 tons of fun. 3 tons of fun is what they said about my mom. And my mom was like, it was a funny joke. You got to laugh at funny jokes. If it was a bad joke, you keep moving.
I don't like that there is a word fat phobic. That seems
fat phobic.
crazy.
It doesn't make like fat phobic means I'm afraid.
Yeah.
Arachnophobia. I am an arachnophobic. I am terrified of spiders. I have to literally like overcome fear to go kill the spider. One time I killed a spider and it was a pregnant one. Oh my God, I almost shot the whole house up. Because when you hit it, all the baby spiders just disperse. It's a terrifying moment. That's phobic.
Yeah.
That man didn't say, the face of a, oh my God. Nobody's afraid of big people. Nobody's afraid of big people. Like it's a thing where it's an insecurity thing, but you shouldn't be insecure.
Right.
Man, it's some pretty big women, bro. It is some fine ass big women in this world. Especially you get your big one with a nice dark chocolate complexion. Yeah. Man, listen.
It's just crazy. It's just, oh my gosh. I have a big head. If you don't like guys with big heads, you might not like me.
No,
I'm not going to call you big head phobic.
Look, imagine me in my big ass age. You got a big head. You said I had a big head. Oh my God, you're big head phobic. What am I going to do? Imagine somebody Reigns and Mandarin got into a fight a couple years ago at a thing. A guy got on a fucking Facebook post. It was like, call me Urkel. I was offended. I wasn't offended because I got glasses. I was offended. What about me show Steve Urkel? But Steve Urkel's a smart guy, blah, blah, blah. Did James Coleman say, Miss Bravo, can you please write a letter to Reigns' principal bashing this parent for going on and on about how I look like Steve Urkel because he's glasses phobic? Hell, I talk about big head people. Call the boy Megamind. Thank you, Angelo. Call the Megamind. Doesn't mean I didn't like him. Just means the motherfucker had a big head. I got a big head. Daryl Jackson. I describe Daryl Jackson as a big-headed motherfucker because he's a big-headed motherfucker.
That's what it makes him good for football.
It makes you good.
Most of them.
You know what being big makes you good at? Apparently a honeybee.
Right.
Because you got to be big to be a honeybee. And it's actually impressive to see. I'll say this. Them gospel twerkers yesterday, it wasn't a petite one up there. But them girls was moving in circles, doing stuff with their hands.
Right.
I was tired watching them do this. I was out of shape. I was panting. It was impressive. But they were big. And there's nothing wrong with that.
It brings joy. More than the one-handed catch, more than the interception. What do we love more than seeing the big guy return the fumble?
It's like this generation could not have lasted in the 90s.
Yeah, not at all.
Like, heartthrob never, black and ugly as ever. Right. However, Wingstop 10-piece. Wingstop fat boy need a 10-piece. Men call each other fat, ugly, gay, all these different things. Actually, when they say the hard F word, if a man says that to you, he's typically not talking to a gay person. He's talking to a straight person.
Right.
Because we know that the gay person is that. It's not a disability. It's actually more empowering than anything. And the fact that we're sitting here crying about this shit. When you got people literally trying to take money away from y'all at HBCU. Your mama on crack rock was wild. It's a whole song. I remember that. I remember being in the early 90s, especially when crack hit Florida. Bruh, everybody, boy, you a crackhead. You a crack baby. You a this. Bruh. I'm sorry. It bothers me that we're so sensitive in a world that doesn't give a fuck about your feelings at all.
I know.
It's more people mad that this man said that they were the face of Ozempic than a person who said that you lack the brain processing power of other folks. That's really where you should be writing fucking letters and all this other shit. Like, it's something that really does affect your day-to-day, as opposed to an HBCU football game that wasn't even full. Same women get upset about that, but won't get upset with shake that pussy down low. Shake that thing for real, ho. I can say that. You can. I bet Joe could have got on that thing and said, it says, and Luke Skywalker, who was defending Joe and said that maybe he was wrong. Luke, you can't, dog. This ain't your lane, bro. All we got to do is pull up your lyrics, dog. We love them. I love them lyrics. But I'm just saying, dog, like, you said way more debauchery and shit about women. It was something else about that shit that I feel bad for the future, bro. Like, the world is tough, man. There's going to be a lot more diabolical shit that's going to be said. Worse shit. And if that caused you to go into a state of a spiral out of control because now your feelings are so hurt, I don't know what to tell you, man, but always remember, Tupac cares if don't nobody else care. Because that's all I got for you, dog. But, like, this shit's a wild world, man. Like, you know, like, don't play like shit. And what's funny, the funniest part, and I'll finish with this, is that I see women bashing it who I've heard say, you a little dick motherfucker. Or that's LDE, little dick energy. I bet if you go and you read the comments on some of the stuff, you're going to hear worse things written about Joe than what Joe even said or even meant to imply in that. And that just lets me further know that y'all full of shit. Like, you like, if you're really upset with him, if this was really fat shaming, then what could he have said? What would you have liked him to say? Would you have liked him to cheer them on? Like, what would have been a better joke? Like, if he would have been like, no, actually, this would have been worse, probably. I'm glad I think about it. Like, if he would have said, you know, that wasn't the Richter scale going off. That was just the honeybees dancing. That would be bad.
What made him say it? Is he just
Joe says
so
this.
Comfortable?
Joe says things like that. That's what makes him good.
Oh, okay. Well, if this is known,
this is known about Joe Bullard. He
stuff.
didn't just do it to the honeybees.
Okay.
Like, he'll tell it, if you're, like, again, hard work, like all that other stuff. I've heard him say that Bethune-Cookman band suck. And now it's time for the often imitated, never duplicated, the innumerable, the marching 100. In comparison to his beloved FAMU.
Ladies, ask any guy you think is cool what's some of the 3 worst roasts he ever had against him. I'm sure he can knock it off the top of his head. Everyone gets roasted.
Everybody.
Even the coolest.
The people who put themselves in situations like that have to be in front of folks, right, are the ones who get it. And that's the boldness. That's the beauty in of it.
Yeah.
That's you are the show.
That's what makes you cool.
Right. And just like I said, on God, if them girls is really distraught by that, they in the wrong. They should not be. Like, because again, Toby said something. There was a big dude who I've heard people say, man, let me tell you what somebody walked up to Toby and said one day. Now, I would have punched the dude. Toby's a big guy, naturally. And the dude came in, was it worth it? Like he looked at him, eating yourself like that. It was unprovoked. Unprovoked. I remember when Toby told me.
That's what makes it so funny.
Hey, do you know what I did? I was mad for him, but then I laughed.
Yeah, you got to.
Because like, yo, that's wild that that guy was that disgusted. Like he hadn't seen anything else in his life that he had to comment on that.
Right.
Like,
Laugh at My Pain was Kevin Hart's first famous special or whatever.
oh wow, I didn't realize that. So Joe has said worse to the same. Man, yeah, man, fuck them people, man. Them people just wanted to be offended today. Man, dog, like I said, man, Joe, my guy. I love Joe. I don't think, like, I'm sorry, man. Y'all can help me in the comments if you listen to this show, man. Y'all could just help me find out what Joe's like, how I should be feeling, because I don't know, like, because this to me, like, we got a lot of other shit going on. That should be the last of all the things, but yeah, I don't know, man. But I do know there's going to be scarier. There's like, that's what bothered you, man. The world wasn't meant for. The world is not safe for soft people. So, hopefully, that y'all don't do me like I did my dog CJ for talking about fat women. I love fat women. Again, Biggie said, "I fuck RuPaul before I fuck them ugly ass escape bitches." Like some of these guys would be like some of the shit that we actually grew up saying. Oh man, you could be, but you know what I found though, and you can scream and cry for Joe to be fired, but you know what's gonna happen? Joe gonna keep a job. You know why? Because Joe is really fucking good at his job. You can get fired, but you can't cancel what's good. And you know what? You can't hide from the world that has negative things to say about you. We laugh about it all the time. If you want to know what it feels like to get roasted, look at me in some of these comments, even when I'm right. Oh, fake ass Ice Cube looking motherfucker. Like, I've seen, it's just all kinds of shit that doesn't even make sense. But fuck it. Anyways, anything else, Jaden, or was that how we ended the show?
No, that was it.
Stop being. I guess the way we'll end this show. Stop being so sassy and sensitive, especially if you're a bigger target. Appreciate y'all for chopping it up with me. We'll see you guys next time.
You're gonna have to see them girls.